evening and welcome to another one of my tea videos. I think it may be third or fourth in line to a recent sort of tea project that I'm doing, and this one is the one I've been most excited about, and it is matcha tea. The world's healthiest tea, apparently, until they find the next one. I've got this one from Tea Pigs, simply because that's who I made the last order from. One of my Facebook friends, through my Soft Sound Whispers Facebook, actually gave me a link to another tea company which looks amazing, and I've had a little look on that. So when I've got through my 10 that I've just ordered, then I'll definitely be making another order and doing some more if you guys still want to listen to them, and have a little bit of an education with tea as well, which is educating for me while I make the videos. So let's see what Tea Pigs has to say about matcha. Basically, I think this was £2, which is quite expensive. It's an expensive tea. And I think this is just a cup, I think. So on the packet it says 1 serving of matcha is equivalent to 10 to 15 cups of regular green tea. It raises energy for 4 to 6 hours. It contains 70% of the antioxidants of an orange juice. Here it says just add half a teaspoon of matcha to hot water, juice or hot milk and whisk. So I first heard about matcha, which I said to you in, excuse the scooter, in my sort of unpacking of Post magazine, because this came in the Post magazine video, that I'd seen it through an ex-boyfriend online, and he has a food and drinks blog and stuff, so he's a professional, sort of a celebrity chef. And he started talking about it and raving about it and called it like the cocaine of tea, and said that he'd had it and felt, within about 10-15 minutes, felt like better than a coffee, it gives you a pick-me-up, and he said he just felt great all day. I have read this in other places, but it's not that raved about, so I'm quite interested to see if that's actually the case and whether or not he's just being his typical over-the-top self. So anyway, it's the ultimate superfood, 100% natural, organic green tea leaves ground into a fine powder. Half a teaspoon is the same benefits of 15 cups of green tea. That's quite incredible. It gives you a natural energy boost for up to 6 hours. It's the winner of Best Slimming and Fitness Product. Okay, you can put them into fruit juice, add hot or cold milk or water, you can put them in smoothies, in protein shakes. Whisk, knock back and feel great. It really works. I have an energy slump in the afternoons, but with a shot of matcha soon dealt with that. Okay, well, I think it's quite interesting. What else does it say here? Well, shall we make it anyway and see what it looks like? Powdered. It smells green. Okay, so I'm going to get some on here, and I'm going to sort of overly split. Unlike most teas, this is actually a powder, because matcha tea, I'm getting this everywhere, if you can see, is actually the whole leaf ground up. I'm not entirely sure Okay, well that's a teaspoon. I have a lot to do this evening, so I should probably have more than that. So it's dark green in colour. Now, the traditional way of doing this is with a whisk. I don't have a whisk because I don't know if I was going to like it or not. Although saying that though, with the health benefits that it's claiming, it shouldn't really matter if I like it or not. Sounds incredibly healthy. So you're just meant to sit and whisk it. Funny enough, that tasted horrible, but now there's like a sweetness to it, which is quite nice. I'm going to let that disperse a little bit. Still got quite a fair amount in there, I think. And yeah, it would be really good if it was as invigorating as it's saying that it is, because I have a lot to do. What did it say about a serving? Was it half a teaspoon? Half a teaspoon. That's definitely... Whisk would have been good. Never mind. Okay, what is matcha and why is it so healthy? Matcha is 100% natural, organic ground green tea leaves. Essentially a concentrated green tea. It is grown under shade to increase chlorophyll content. That's the bright green stuff that contains all the healthy nutrients and amino acids. The way it's drank. When you drink regular green tea, once brewed you throw away the leaves so a bit like boiling spinach and throwing away the spinach and just drinking the water. You'll get some of the nutrients, but you're throwing away most of the goodness. Matcha is drunk as a fine powder diffused into liquid, so you actually ingest the whole leaf, consuming every last bit of goodness. That makes sense. Matcha contains 70% the antioxidants of orange juice, 9% the beta-carotene of spinach, and vitamins A, B and C. Antioxidant power. Leading research and medical institutions have found that green tea is seriously good for your health since it is super high in antioxidants. Matcha contains more antioxidants per gram than any of nature's healthiest superfoods like goji berries, blueberries and spinach. As you can see, the little chart there, and that's the one at the top is matcha. I'm just going to have to down all the bits of it. Okay. Energizing and calming. Matcha contains a very special amino acid called L-theanine. L-theanine? This works to slowly release matcha's natural caffeine to give our bodies a gentle and sustained energy boost lasting 4 to 6 hours. No more afternoon slumps. L-theanine also helps to reduce stress and keeps you calm and focused. That's why Buddhist monks have drunk matcha for centuries. Just what you need when you're about to meditate for many hours. Matcha won't give you an initial rush of energy and then a crash like coffee. It's all about slow release energy. Metabolism boosting. A study in American Journal of Clinical Nutrition established that green tea promoted fat oxidant and increased energy expenditure. In other words, it promotes the metabolism and burning of fat for your heart. A study of green tea drinkers published in the British Medical Journal found that high consumption of green tea, 10 plus cups, may act protectively against cardiovascular disease. Testimonials. This one's from Alison Steele, who's a triathlete. I don't usually like green tea, to be honest, never have, but mixing matcha with apple juice makes for a refreshing drink and gives you a real jump start just when you're feeling sleepy in the afternoon, usually about 3 p.m. for me. Rob Smith, an indoor sprint rower. May I start by saying what a brilliant product matcha is. I'm a world record holding athlete, and I too can feel the difference a daily shot of matcha makes to energy and metabolism. Thanks for a great product. I'm spreading the word. Okay. Well, that didn't go into too much of everything of how it's good for you, so I did some independent. I can see why it needs a whisk, because it just doesn't seem to want to actually dissolve, because it is just like powdered leaf, isn't it? So I'm going to have to down it like that. Well, I may as well try it. It just smells like garden again. It just smells like cut grass. It's nice. It's not as bitter as I thought it would be. I know I wouldn't drink it thinking, this is delicious, but if health benefits and, you know, that all that sort of stuff is correct, then I can deal with that taste perfectly fine. So, boosts metabolism, burns calories, detoxifies, enhances mood and concentration, provides vitamin C, selenium, chromium, zinc and magnesium, fights viruses and bacteria. It's rich in fibre, lowers cholesterol and lowers blood sugar, and does not raise insulin levels. Funnily enough, oh god, knock over my teapot. Funnily enough, this green tea only comes from Japan. You have good green tea, the matcha is specific to Japan. And I had something else I wanted to read to you about it, about how it was produced, which is on my laptop. Matcha is grown only in Japan, where local farmers cultivate it by traditional methods from growing to grinding. Matcha source matcha is farmed by the Yahangi River, whose microclimate and misty fog air make the growing conditions ideal. Several weeks prior to harvest in the spring, farmers cover the tea plants with bamboo mats or tarp, gradually reducing the amount of sunlight that reaches the plants. This step increases the chlorophyll content and turns the leaves dark green, giving matcha a distinct green colour. Tea-grade matcha is ground on a stone mill to achieve fine powder texture, unlike industrial-grade matcha, which is ground by machines. The stone grinding produces a healthy, specially shaped powder molecule, which impacts the taste and mouthfeel of the matcha, which is true, a mouthfeel. It makes your mouth tingle, kind of like salivating a little bit. You think originally because of the sweetness, but it's really nice actually. Why is matcha tea relatively expensive when compared to other green tea? Jasmine tea in general tends to be more expensive than teas produced in another country. It's the rule of supply and demand. Japan is a small country that only exports about 1% of its teas due to high domestic demand. Taking that into account, matcha production is limited. Covering the fields with bamboo mats or tarps weakens the tea plants, and a longer recovery period is needed before they can be harvested again. Most farmers pick matcha leaves entirely by hand, although machine picking is not uncommon. That doesn't really make much sense. Most farmers pick by hand, but actually quite a lot of people use machines. Local farmers closely supervise the growing, harvesting and sorting of the matcha leaves. At the factory, production requires several processes including steaming, drying, de-stemming, sorting, grinding and packaging. Each stone grinder produces only 40 grams of matcha an hour. Matcha has always been a specially crafted tea in Japan, expensive and made in limited amounts since its introduction to Japan from China in the 1200s. The pricing of matcha in Japan is directly related to which leaves are used, where they are grown and which farmers cultivated it. When you look to buy matcha, you'll find the most expensive ones are the greenest in colour and the softest in texture. This denotes that only the youngest leaves were used and de-spinned. Matcha is made in relatively limited quantities, and because it's so popular in Japan, relatively little remains for export. Does matcha have caffeine? Yes. Matcha is a type of green tea, and green tea contains caffeine. When drinking matcha, whose tea leaves are completely consumed, providing 4 to 6 hours of mild, steady energy. Matcha is both stimulant and relaxant, perfect for focusing on work, meditation, exercise or play. Well, I am pretty happy with this actually. I'm going to be interested to see how I feel for the next few hours, considering I don't have a large caffeine intake myself. That kind of puts me off this bit, but I suppose if I had the whisk, I guess I just down that. That wasn't 100% pleasant, but it wasn't horrible. But if it's as good as it says it is for you, then I'm happy to have it. Alright, well anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I will let you all know how this went for me in my next video, although I can already sort of think I think it's pretty good. Alright, good night everybody.